This right here is the beginning of the Bonanzaville tour. So far so good. Nope, there's the bison. Bison. Ancient artifacts from the Indian people or Native American. I don't know this PC term or nothing more than nonsense and propaganda. Matlab of a TP. Bonanzaville. Nah. First Peoples, Native American life and culture in North Dakota. We have a lot of Native Americans here in North Dakota. Now that's nice. This is the tools and weapons that they used. Instruments, among other knickknacks of their culture. Very lovely. And here we have something from your American continent. Oh, the fur traders. Oh, that's nice. 1804, Napoleon. Over there, U.S. Indian police badge. So yeah, they actually allow them to be police officers. Ew. Next stop, feminism. No, just kidding. This is from like the 19th and 20th century. The fight for suffrage continues. Oh, how they had no idea what was going to come in the 2020s. All this dates back. All starting in the year of the Revolutionary War from Abigail Adams. Of course, throughout the days and the years, bit by bit, progress was happening. They didn't rush things that they tried to do now. They actually took the time bit by bit, inch by inch. They didn't rush things with speeches and propaganda. They took the time and obeyed the law, and boom. It took at least over 2,000 years, but they did it. The 19th Amendment. What this is we can say about today's times, where they just try to push things on day one. True prosperous change should not be rushed. And here we have some lovely, what is this? First era in North Dakota. This is basically what they shouted and what they wore. To be honest, I think it can still pass on today. It's still very, very lovely. Fashion fights back. The humber hat pin. The hobbling along. Oh, I know about the hobble skirt. During World War I, yeah, you would have been screwed. And of course, we have some nice little post-its from back then, basically promoting men to work more. Granted, it's very silly back now, but then it would be a struggle. Organization of the day in 1866 after the war. Early activism, as in no rioting, of course. Simple acts. A simple desk. Nice, very nice. old sewing thing. Still looks up to date to me. Now this is nice. This is real nice. I'm big on history, so this is really enjoyable for me. Okay, next one. Next up, farmland. Now this is what North Dakota is known for, the rich prime farmland. And here's something that I'm sure you steam enthusiasts just love. Old steamer comes out of retirement, and a real life steam engine itself. I do love steam engines. The fact that these things used to be the most powerful thing on earth, one of the powerful things on earth, is a true miracle. Made of simple cast iron and a few ideas, and you get a very powerful machine, and I just love it. And this is what they had to feed the crew with and out of. Let's see the menu back in the day, 5 a.m. breakfast, 9 a.m. morning lunch, 12 p.m. noon lunch, 4:30 p.m. 4 p.m. afternoon lunch, they're like hobbits, and then supper. Bread, pickled cow, potatoes, eggs, milk, and flour. Nice, very nice, very nice. And that's the lunch, bread, and lunch and supper. Now this would have been nice then, a nice holiday then. And this is just knickknacks and toys back in the day, probably. And then here's this little game for kids to play with. I'm already beaten to it. And here's a little trivia, and here's a little information. Wheat, barley, oats, corn, and flax. The good type of flax, not the bad type of flax. Okay, and to the next one. Okay, and to something that I think you gun enthusiasts would love too. Or if you like knives. Just some old-fashioned cutlery. Not really cutlery, but blades among the wars. Especially this one from 1945, the combat knife of sheath, probably from a Iran. Sword and scabbard. Oh, this from 1870s. The Grand Army of the Republic. That's the beauty of these things. It's right here. From 1945 by the Japanese after Okinawa. Fully beneficent, but this thing I'm more interested in. It's a knife, I think, but the handle is a ram's horn. Now that is brilliant. Then we see some stuff from down here. Now that one is beautiful. Very good. And in the back, you see a little six-shotted pistol. Come on. A shotgun with the butter bed torn off. Must have had Taco Bell. Now this is something that you car enthusiasts would love too. It's the original 1903 Ford Model A. This is the stuff you see in old-fashioned cartoons. Old-fashioned headlamps, oil lamps, of course, with the old-fashioned suspension system. Now these stuff that they use in carts during the ye old West, Like if you saw there are also like Bonanzaville, the show actually, the show, among other those like Little House on the Prairie, they had these old-fashioned suspension systems. They wouldn't have springs; they would use just the sheer tension of the metal. It was okay for the day, but not good for bumpy roads. This would have been seating. Kind of weird. Now this is something I'm sorry more people are familiar with. The 1918 Ford, back during the Great War. Ford Motor Company. And I believe Ford is still making products today. My grandfather used to work at a Ford Automotive Company until it had shut down due, the place turned Democrat, so they didn't like the economy, so yeah. See? Back in Detroit. So yeah, they had shut that down because, no one likes the economy back there. But this is quite nice. Old fuel cans and labels. Quite nice. Let's see here. Houses for only $139. They've been driven to over $3,000 a day. Yeah, that would be correct. Yeah. And this, when I first saw this, I thought it was some sort of weird part, but it turns out it was for a gas pump. Glow. They were used on the top of things, similar to what these things were. They just be on the top. It turns out that they replaced these things with these things because simple. These things kept shattering because of hell. These things, they were stronger than steel because they were made from steel. Yeah. And this is old-fashioned wind turbine. Don't mind the sound, that's just the AC unit. That's quiet as ever. Now that's nice. Let's see. 1927. 8,000 wind chart. Now that's nice. That's really nice. Okay, on to the next one. Now this is the next part of our tour. Let's get into it. First off, models. I am a big fan of models. Victorian era. That would have been nice. Ooh, there we got here, mink fur coat. Vegans, share the eyes now. Here are some knickknacks, a few postcards, I think. Nothing much, but here it's an old-fashioned weight style thing. Yeah, back in the day, these were really heavy. I wouldn't carry this out of the closet. Next up, a few more knickknacks and old things from history, but they're important nonetheless when you know the significance. This is a railroad fire extinguisher, which was really useful back when fires were appear on fire-based steam engines and other things. Incubator for eggs, of course. An adding machine. Very useful. And then there's an owl. Parliament of Owls. Nice. Very nice. Leopard band. A lot of these donors are very unknown. Weird. Ooh, look at that here. A penny house. President Abraham Lincoln. Ironic because, you know, he used to build a log cabin with his bare hands. Magnificent. Next up. Ooh, now here we go with some war stuff. World War One. The old-fashioned Brody helmet. Along with the Spanish flu from 1918 to 1920. Now that was the real pandemic back then. More people, at least 160 million people died during that thing in only 2 years. Talk about a pandemic. That thing was like almost the apocalypse. Luckily we all survived that. And yeah. This is the type of medicine that they would use back then. Aspirin, laxatives. I don't know how to pronounce that. And the road past alcohol. Yum yum alcohol, yum yum yum. Along with the treatments like hard lemon and onion, alcohol, aspirin. I don't know how to pronounce that. Not either because I have a speech impediment. But here we have here the nurses. Very nice, very nice. Oh, no, down here, that's nice. Look down here. A weaving mill, I think that's the term. I'm not good with pronunciation. Some interesting stuff here. It says 4 seasons, but there's clearly 5. And this is mostly just art, not really historical value, like in the sense of, you know, pipes and pots and stuff like that. But they are pretty and interesting when you get to, I don't know, stare at these things for like 5 days. Still, it took a lot of time to make these things. Oh, that's nice. We're very retro. These artists, Elizabeth, Clancy, I can't pronounce these names properly, but don't worry, these are pretty nice. We're almost done with this person, so yeah. Now this is the old-fashioned scales. This was used from 1940 to 1960. Now here's something that it's kind of a good thing that we had them back then in the days of the Great War and many other wars. Nurses. Thanks to these proud, responsible women, they helped save many lives, either it's during the Spanish flu, simple catastrophes, or even up to a world war. They helped during World War I and World War II in the trenches and in nursing places like churches or schools that were commandeered by the military to help wounded. They didn't do that much for at least a year, but they still did a lot in the sense of, you know, actual help. The American Red Cross. And here's the uniforms they wore. Basically nursing school. And I think this is the field uniform that they had. Or at least, when I think it was, I'm not good at this type of stuff. And they had the little pins and badges they had. I like the cap too. I do like the cap. St. Hasper Nursing School. St. Luke's. The Toda Clinic. And then it's Jamestown. This is the evolution of nurses' responsibilities. They were really dedicated women, and they saved a lot of men and women's lives during times of war, natural catastrophes, epidemics. Basically, if you were sick at the time of crises, they were there to patch you up. And here's the stuff that they will use. Simple like bedpans if you're sick, syringes to inject you with something that makes you feel better, stuff that will help your gauze and bandages, and many other segment stuff. Here's some people right here. From far. Notes on nursing. So yeah. Quite nice indeed. Okay, we're almost done. This portion it might be the longest, but it's still enough. Survey chain, a stake, and meta states. This might be because of the steam engine. I don't know. Breaking ground. Land surveying. Oh, for land surveying. Oh my gosh. We got one more thing. This is nice. Mitsubishi down there alongside some other stuff. Smell clouds and all that nice. Okay, and to the next portion. And to the railroad crossing thing. And this is something that I just absolutely love because I am a big steam railway fan. And to the next part of the tour. Now, if you ever watched the show Old Dr. Beeching, you might recognize something like this. Oh, I think you can hear a diesel locomotive going. Oh, no, that is a car. But still, this is a great part of railway history. This is where you did your ticket booth and get tickets. All the everything. Oh, now look at that. Now look there. Prime steam engines. In the prime, of course. Lovely. Now, some would actually live here in a sense because working on a railway it's not a simple 9 to 5. There was engines coming from all days, from all hours of the day and night, transporting passengers, goods, and in some cases, fuel, weapons, and many other things. It really depends on who was the contractor. It wasn't just one simple contractor, they had many other things. So, in order to keep things running ship shape, some had to live here. It was, as they say, a home away from home. It was cozy, luxurious, simple. Ironic how there's a picture of a diesel engine in a steam locomotive house. Oh, and there's the old ice spots. And here's the old timetables. Yeah, whatever one men like to be here during these days. here is something that I'm not sure where it is. It's a type of elevator. Not sure what this would be used for. I'm sure it's something useful. Shopping bench chute. Yeah, that looks scary as hell. I ain't going in there. But so far, we haven't gotten to the main attraction that I'm hoping to see. Now, looking at a picture of Steam Engine, that's okay and all, but how about we look at the real thing in all its prime and beauty? Because these railways, these railroads go somewhere. And I hate this door. Let's go. There she is. There she is in all of her beauty. Isn't she beautiful? Just look at her. Wow, the last steam engines around here. She's been in preservation for as long as I know. I know that in the 60s, they got rid of these things in place of diesels. But this right here, this old girl, she's gonna live for a long time. She's no longer in steam, but I think that's for the better. As you can see, there's rubber in here. I don't think she can pull much now. But it's a good part of our history to make sure that these old iron horses never get put down and be turned into glue, I think. But now, if you're a British railway fan, you would be keen to notice this thing. And of course, that thing on top. And of course, the bell instead of the whistle. These were used because of if you saw at the time, it's the tank engine thing. These were used. These were put on steam locomotives in case of, you know, cattle or sheep or pigs wander onto the track. These things wouldn't really kill them, but merely push. Or they wouldn't kill them. It's more like they would push them aside gently until they needed to shove off. And now it's time to show what these old beauties actually pulled. Well, one of the things they pulled. A real life coach. As the British would term, and here's the thing that I think puts it here. Watch your step. These things are made out of balsa wood. See? But first, let's see here. More railroad tracks. I just love railways. I use the British term a lot, because I used to watch Thomas. The old fashioned coaches. Great. I'm going to some scary haunted mansion now. Add up. Okay, it's very dark in here. I'll be right back, and I did the light. But I got the light on now. Let's continue. Ooh, that's so spooky. Not really. Now this. Now this is nice. So this may seem very haunted and spooky, but I assure you there are no clothes here. Now this is lovely. It's a shame though. It's not every day you can go on a nice luxurious train ride. They got rid of them, most of them, because apparently it's bad to use trains, steam all these engines in a sense. But I wouldn't mind doing this. Sure, it might not be the most comfy of things, but in a sense, you have an old-fashioned feeling, like how they did in the 1800s, back during the prime of engines, you know, steam engines and public transportation like this. This is the loo, as they would say in Britain, or French. I don't know. I'm not European. This is clearly just part of the renovation. And I have to go back because I think that's the part I'm not supposed to go into, but hey, not bad, not bad so far. Not many people here at the moment, but then again, it is a weekday, so not many families here. It is during the summer, but you know, they rather go to the Disneylands. We don't have one here, but you know, if we did, they would probably go to it. But not really, because we are very conservative here. We don't believe in them Disney Day people. The propaganda nonsense. Oh, now there's a list. Oh, the light's in the way, damn it. I love this thing. Here's the old symbol. It's similar to the peace symbol. I think it is the peace symbol. It says that the paint has been so corroded. And here we have a caboose. And the end of the tender. Oh wait, there was a thing right there, but the steps are gone. Watch your step. Watch your step. Don't want to drop the camera. Now this is the caboose, or if you're British, brake van. So some people would sleep here. This was basically a third handoff coach. Don't know who would want to sleep in there. I'm just joking. Quite nice, if you ask me. Very nice, very nice. A little desk. Oh look, how cozy! This would have been good during the lawn horse between Dakota and Dakota. I'm just joking. But yes, this would have been very nice and cozy, you know, sitting here. We have a nice hot bowl of stew in your hand, warming your hands by the past stove fire. Someone reading a butter there. We've tried the experience. Yeah, enough though, light matches, so does. I don't know if this. Oh yeah, this is from Northern Pacific Company. This was back then. Even they knew that was unsafe, despite all the safety hazard that they are a company with back then the days of not so much public safety, but still. But let's see what's. Now let's look at the actor boxes. Very different from over in Britain, of course. This is American made. I don't know what these things are for. But so far, the best part of the tour. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the last remaining steam engines here. In fact, this is the only steam engine here. This is the only one that they have. One that's not a toy. I would give anything to drive one of these things. I mean, just look at it. These things were like... They were basically... I wouldn't say dinosaurs, but they were as strong as dinosaurs back in the day. Can we see in here? Oh, I can almost see the firebox. I grew up with Thomas, so this stuff would really interested in me. I mean, just look at all the complex pops and pistons that they use to make these things go. Nothing like the simple start and go things like with diesel or electric. Steam engines truly are a piece of history worth remembering.